Welcome back, everyone, to another episode. We are here for another episode of everyone's favorite place to be on a Wednesday morning. Where else would you rather be on the internet on a Wednesday morning, Brandon? But right here at Practice, the show.
One thing's for sure. One thing's for sure. News about AI is always seems to dominate the news cycle. And today, but with all the hype about AI, it was interesting to see that a one-day in-person event gained a lot of attention over the weekend. That event was the ClickFunnels Connect event that took place in Salt Lake City, Utah, just a few days ago. Seeing what's happening with these types of events has us believing that the future of marketing isn't digital, but it's more personal than ever. In today's episode of Pitch Practice, the show, we're going to discuss ClickFunnels Connect event and is this the future of SaaS? My name is Mark, and I'm the guy behind the Mental Marketer and the private Facebook group Funnel Building 101, teaching the newest art and science of funnel building to help content creators sell other people's stuff.
Brandon here with BKX Enterprises, your digital plumber, helping you hook that funnel up to the internet so there are zero leaks in your sales pipeline. Man, another
Leaks.
week. No leaks. No more leaks.
Your digital business strategist. What's up, everybody? Give us a hashtag where you're watching from down in the comments. We've got a lot to get into today. Before we do that, how are you doing, Brandon? How's the
I
week going?
am
It's been a
I'm beat.
crazy week.
Yeah, I'm 100% beat. I went to a food equipment trade show on Monday, which was phenomenal. A lot of marketing going on there. A lot of just big brands and branding. Not much on the direct response side, which I found quite interesting. But obviously, there was a way to capture leads for the people showing. I ate way too much food, and
Uh,
yeah, it was a 12-hour excursion to Chicago and back that I did in about 24 hours. So yeah, I'm still trying to recover, especially from the 7 miles that I walked a day at the show. So yeah, I'm beat. I'm beat up,
nice. You got this, Brandon.
and
Just
Mark is frozen on
breathe.
my end. So uh,
Can
where
you
we're
see
going with the
me?
show today, um,
Can you see me?
I don't know because we're stuck.
You're frozen? Uh-oh. Oh, bummer, bummer. All right. Can you hear me at all? Can you hear me at all? Can you hear me at all? Hold on one second. Hold on one second. All right. We've got an amazing episode coming on today. And looks like Brandon can't hear right now. So I think not sure what's going on. He's gonna have to go reset. But today, I am telling you, we have got an exciting episode. Thanks for tuning in. We want to know where you're watching from down in the comments, but we've got everyone's favorite ClickFunnels ambassador, and I'm jealous because everyone likes him. He's the one that's helping out with everyone, and I just love talking to. I just love talking to him. He's an amazing human being, smart, uh, intelligent. Let's see here. Wait a minute. We got Brandon is coming back. We'll let Brandon back in. Let's see here. All right, you there, Brandon?
Yeah, I guess I'm back. I don't know what happened. It's raining here
Yeah.
in Ohio, and there's, I guess, crappy internet's going on. So apologies for that. But no, as I was saying before, everything cut out. Yeah, just tired, but a lot to talk about with the marketing that I saw. we can kind of roll it into the show for all the big food equipment brands and food service and food brands themselves that I saw was quite interesting. So
Yeah. Today we're going to get into the Connect event. We're going to get into a little bit about what we found out there at the Connect event. I attended the event, wasn't there live this time, but was definitely there in spirit. Unfortunately, I was having FOMO from not being there, watching all the just being in such a small room with Russell himself, being able to absorb the knowledge straight from Russell himself. So I was feeling a little bit FOMO, but we're going to cover all that. Let's get into and let's bring on our special guest for today, none other than Mr. Austin Dorman.
Hey, thanks, Mark and Brandon, for having me, and thanks for the awesome intro. I should have you intro me every time I do a live or something. That was phenomenal.
Nice. Yeah, you're no stranger to video. You are no stranger to video. I know that you are always making some of the most helpful videos that people are finding inside the ClickFunnels community. And I think I've also said to you that what I like about your videos is that they're always focused on achieving a goal. I know we can get into that too, just because it just so happens. I know that you're a big fan of the survey element inside of ClickFunnels, and that was one of the presentations there at the ClickFunnels Connect event, which I'm so sad that I didn't get to visit, but thank goodness the next best thing we've got you here to give us the lowdown. Give us the lowdown. But before you get into that, of course, we want you to introduce yourself to everyone out there listening. Tell us who you are, how you came to, become this major ClickFunnels ambassador, and then also I think there's a little bit of there's a little bit of rumors out there that you can clear us on about.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll set it straight. Maybe I should say that. But yeah, like I mentioned, my name's Austin Dorman, certified funnel builder and ClickFunnels ambassador. I got into ClickFunnels, it was fall of 2020. So that's when I first saw the ad of Russell Brunson. I believe it was Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi. They had some sort of partnership thing going on. They were launching some big thing. And I knew Tony, I knew Dean, but I was like, who's this Russell Brunson guy? And so that's when I naturally went to Google, started searching him, like, who's Russell Brunson? Is he legit? Learned a little bit about him, but it's kind of interesting because kind of put that on the back burner. So I was finishing school at that time. So I attended Brigham Young University in Utah. My background's in accounting, got my bachelor's and master's there. But I had this kind of pulling to do entrepreneurship. And so I was like, oh, reading all the books. And then naturally I was like, just got into the whole ClickFunnels stuff. But it wasn't until I would probably say 18 months after that ad is when I really started looking into ClickFunnels. That's when they were launching the One Funnel Away. I would say a lot. It was probably maybe the second or third version of it. But definitely got hooked on the One Funnel Away. Then there was the offer to become to be a certified funnel builder. So I joined that in the summer of 2022. And then which has been honestly an incredible experience where I was able to, essentially learn how to use ClickFunnels 2.0 super quickly. That was around the time that they launched it to the public. And just between that and, serving the great ClickFunnels community, I was able to be selected as a ClickFunnels ambassador, which has been a super awesome experience.
Nice. So you came in via Tony and Dean. Interesting, because they just had another summit that they just ran probably a week ago. Yeah. Uh, nice. So, okay. All right. So clear up this rumor about meeting your wife, or ClickFunnels had some involvement in you meeting your wife. Is it a ClickFunnels love story that we have here?
Yeah, so this is a funny story. I'll kind of shorten it. Or maybe I'll tell the full story. I guess we'll see. But I met my wife. It was a month before COVID. So this is February of 2020. We were both college students. We met at a mutual friend's get together, and it was kind of funny. Our mutual friend, she's phenomenal. She's great. And she was telling my friend about me for the past year. So like all of 2019, it was like, oh, you should, go on a date with Austin and whatnot. So she knew all about me, but I knew nothing about her going into this event. So shortly after that, we were able to meet, to hang out a lot. And then COVID hit, which was, that was a crazy time between
Hmm.
social distancing, quarantining. For colleges, they shut it down and they went remote for, finishing out that semester and the semesters after. And we even did long distance for a while too. But fast forward, so this is so that was 2020. We dated 2021, 2022. That's when I went to Funnel Hacking Live, and I would say, like, at this point we're like pretty set on we're getting married, but we just didn't know when we were getting married. So it was kind of funny story. I texted her. I was like, "Hey, should I get you a ticket for Funnel Hacking Live for next year?" And then also too, I was like, "What name should I put down on your ticket?" It's like, should I put your maiden name? Should I put my last name? But she's been great. So that was 2022, Orlando. We got tickets to go to Funnel Hacking Live 2023, which was also in Orlando, Florida. Now, like I mentioned, we
What?
didn't have a date planned. It was more kind of spur of the moment of like, oh, we should probably get married. So it was, try and get the story straight. It was the spring of 23. We're like, okay, we're getting married. And it was kind of like, we'll get married either in June or September. And she was like, oh, let's do September. So I was like, okay, great. Didn't really realize that Funnel Hacking Live was also during that time. So we were like, oh, kind of interesting is like, okay, we'll just kind of pick a date, get married, which happened to be September 23, 2023.
Oh
So,
wow!
so a little fun fact. If you
ClickFunnels
watch all the
anniversary
presentations, yeah, ClickFunnels' birthday is
is
on
like
September
September
23rd.
23rd, right? Okay,
Yeah.
wow.
So that's kind of another fun little tidbit between kind of our love story and ClickFunnels is we got married on ClickFunnels' birthday.
Very nice.
But that was a Saturday. So Saturday we got married, and Sunday, the next day, we hopped on a plane to go to Orlando, Florida to do a honeymoon, go to Funnel Hiking Live. And this is kind of a cool story too. So we're waiting at the gate to go inside of the airport or the airplane. They're doing all the different was it boarding groups, and we
Hmm.
decided that we would sit kind of far away, but enough that we could like hear like who's going on board. And it's kind of funny because I saw the sweatshirt behind where we were sitting, and I was like, I've seen that before. Like it was a very distinct. It was like the very bright blue, and it had this weird like bunny, but it was like neon colors. And I was like, I think that's Russell Brunson's sweatshirt. And
Oh
then
wow!
it didn't like click because I was running on like low sleep. But his son was kind of going back and forth like in the airplane or the airport, and I was like, oh wait, like he looks familiar, but I just couldn't pin it. And then I turned back. I was like, oh my gosh, that's Russell Brunson's family sitting right behind us. And so my wife, she has all the good ideas. She was like, turn your ClickFunnels hat backwards so they see the logo. And I was like, oh, genius idea. So, swap the hat back. And then a few minutes later, I see Russell Brunson. He's carrying drinks and smoothies for his family. But I'm kind of like awestruck. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like Russell Brunson. Like, this is nuts because we're gonna be on the same flight as him, like his family and him. But they were super nice to talk to. We told them we got married yesterday, yesterday that day. We were
Nice.
able to chat with him, but I'm like so starstruck, like I'm going like fanboy mode, It's like, oh my gosh, like I'm like saying stuff, but I'm not exactly sure if it actually like makes sense. But that was kind of another cool story right there. Me and Russell Brunson, and then after that, landed in Orlando. We did Universal Studios, so did a few days in the park, and then we went to Funnel Hacking Live, and so it's kind of funny because I've been hearing kind of the rumors, over the internet of like, it's like, oh, did you get engaged at Funnel Hacking Live? Did you get married there? So got married before, but we did part of our honeymoon at Funnel Hacking Live, which was a really cool experience.
That's
Nice.
that's a true ClickFunnels love story. Who says
Yeah.
that? Who says that you can't mix love with business?
Yeah.
A lot of people do it. A lot of people do it.
Yeah.
But
And it's,
uh,
I was about to say, it's funny too, because the last Funnel Hacking Live, it was over Valentine's Day. So we had our honeymoon one year, and now we did Valentine's Day at Funnel Hacking Live too.
in Vegas, you guys should have just eloped.
Yeah.
But you never said whether you got the ticket with her last name or what last name that you used.
Oh, I honestly can't remember what we put. I think I put her name because I was like, oh, I'll just like, I'm not sure if they're going to do ID checks, when they checked in. So I was like, oh, I'll just put your name and, call it good. But definitely got the ticket for her at that Funnel Hacking Live.
That's cool. I want to meet my wife that way.
Yeah.
Cool, cool. Hey, awesome story. Hey, want to get into our discussion about what's happened last week. But before we do that, I did just want to give a shout out. If you see, I've got my shirt on today. Content is king, but strategy rules. I want to throw a shout out there to Mr. Tim Hewitt. That's where I got this shirt from his online e-commerce shop, by the way, that he built inside of ClickFunnels. But I wanted to go through it. I wanted to get an experience of someone who actually has a nice little storefront setup built inside of ClickFunnels. So he was having these little contests with type of shirts, and he was doing it for a great deal. So I went right there on the website just to see how well the entire process worked out. And I went through and I was completely blown away with how smooth the checkout experience is, especially using the new checkout elements. It wasn't I think with his selling, it wasn't it wasn't a one-click upsell. It was like a cart, so I could add things into my cart, and it looked at different quantities. So I wanted to. Have you experienced that before? Because I know you do a little bit of e-commerce stuff too. Have either of you experienced it, Brandon? Or
I haven't experienced it through someone's site. I've played around with the e-com store inside of ClickFunnels, and I feel like right now what they built it's been pretty sleek.
Yeah, on my end, I have a full blown safety sign e-commerce store on there, durable safety signs, and I can say the time it took me to go live was literally 30 days. One, because I was already under the gun to flipping the current site that was on there, and two, the speed and usability of building within ClickFunnels. Like once once you start with that, the branding template there, I can't think of the name off the top of the head of exactly what it's called, but once you set your brand, your fonts, your colors, all that kind of stuff, it's just so fast to build the pages, throw the sections in there, and just get it rocking and rolling. The most difficult, I would say, was just getting payment processing hooked up, but that's a totally different process outside of actually building the site. So I said up and running in 30 days, got the first sale about 30 days later, and just been kind of plugging along ever since.
Nice, nice. So if you're out there watching and you have not experienced the e-commerce or the actual the cart feature inside of ClickFunnels, definitely something that you would want to explore. Maybe I'm not sure if I can give away Tim's link, but if so, maybe I will, or you can just comment down below and we'll send you over to Brandon's safety sign website. How about that?
Sounds good to me. I need you guys to buy all the safety signs, okay? DurableSafetySigns.com. It should work. If not, throw the www in front of it. But yeah, www.durablesafetysigns.com.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Last week, oh, okay, it was sort of a I think it's my opinion. I think Russell probably put this event together at the last minute. It was kind of a short notice. I think Austin and I were talking right before we came on about I think Garrett J. White had his event scheduled for that Saturday. And I think Russell just said, why not? And this event was right in your backyard, right, Austin? Give us
Yeah.
uh-huh. Give us a little bit of give us your thoughts about the event, how it came together, how you decided to go, and tell us a little bit about your experience there. I want to hear it from your point of view because you were in the room.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a fantastic event. And where the event was at, it was only 30 minutes away from where I currently live in Utah. And for me, it was like, oh, no brainer. Like, I got to go, especially since the last ClickFunnels event, which was an invite only back in LA in December. And so just having that experience and then this offer of, hey, we're doing it in Utah 30 minutes away, it's like, oh yeah, no brainer. Like, let me go. But it was a really awesome event. It was very different from the typical funnel hacking live where you have the 5,000 to 7,000 people attending the event. This was way smaller. I'd say it's probably around 150 people. But it was interesting though, because there's people all over that came to this event. People from Spokane, Washington, Chicago, North Carolina, local people like myself. And so you had a really good mix. And I feel like ever since COVID, I feel like people have just naturally like have this desire, this craving to like be in person. And and kind of my take with this whole ClickFunnels Connect and how it's going about is I think it's kind of a nice way to connect on a personal level versus more of like a big scale, very very showy, should I say that? Or like where you have the
Mhm.
lights,
Big
the
performance,
music.
big production. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it's kind of like, oh, this is kind of a nice way for me to just connect between like me and another person where you could actually like talk to them. It's like, oh, what are you doing? How can I help? Type thing. So that's one thing that I really appreciated with this event where it's like, it's not the 5,000 people. It's not the fancy lights, the music and stuff like that. But it was kind of down to kind of what matters most, which is the human interaction, talking to people. There's phenomenal presentations, which I'd imagine we're going to discuss that. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it was awesome seeing Russell, seeing his team. There's people from his inner circle. So Bridger Pennington was one of the speakers, and then
Yeah.
McCall Jones. She had an awesome presentation as well. But yeah, phenomenal event. I do agree. It was kind of a very last minute type deal where it's like, oh, let's put this together, invite some funnel hackers, local or people that are willing to fly in, and let's do this kind of it's almost like kickstarting the ClickFunnels Connect wave that they're starting.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the nail right there. It's kickstarting. Because one of the things that Russell mentioned during this Connect event is he I would say he didn't reveal, but he kind of teased a new website that has been and I don't think that website is actually live yet, but he did give a link for anyone out there to sign up as a host for one of these small regional local events. One thing he said that really stood out to me, and I really paid attention to what he said that we want to go through and we want to weed out the looters. Do you remember what he said that?
Yeah, I do.
He said we want to weed out the looters, and those are the ones that aren't really looking out for ClickFunnels' best interest. You know what I mean? Brandon, have you gone on and signed up as a host?
Not personally, but I have a mastermind group that is kind of in the process of doing that. We meet last Sunday of every month in Northeast Columbus area. So we kind of kicked this off a few months back. That it was kind of a pseudo ClickFunnels thing, got yelled at with it just because the Connect thing was coming out. So we kind of at least backed off on promoting it for what it is. But it's in the works to get an official ClickFunnels Columbus Connect or ClickFunnels Connect Columbus chapter kind of rolling. And depending on how that goes, I may end up branching and splitting off for that and either running a Springfield, Ohio or Dayton, Ohio deal, since I'm over here in Urbana and, I'm kind of halfway in between. So just been looking at real estate and looking at potential meeting rooms and seeing the financial logistics, see if it makes sense to do and host an event at least once a quarter.
Nice. What are your thoughts about this smaller type event and the way that Russell says that this is how I think we were talking about this last week of how he wants to, we were talking about, how we were talking about it, Austin, in the sense of how similar it might be to the LDS church. Spread the gospel.
Yeah.
Using this to spread the gospel. Go ahead.
He definitely did mention that this is more kind of like a grassroots movement of kind of sharing. I like to call it the good word of ClickFunnels, of sharing kind of the good news, the everything that's all good about it, which is kind of interesting. And he even explained kind of the transition from Funnel Hacking Live to doing these ClickFunnels Connect events, where they've been running it for 10 years, and he talked about the effort of like you do this event and it's only like 5 days, and then you're on this like emotional high of like, oh, like that was awesome, but then like after a month or two it's like you got to plan for the next event. So it's like 10 months worth of planning, reaching out to people, trying to figure out the theme, how are you trying to like fill the event space and get all the accommodations situated. So he did mention that where as they were getting closer to 10, they were like, hey, are we going to stop at 10 or do we have to go to 20? It's like, at 20, it's like, do we, keep going at 30? But he also, this is kind of interesting too, to kind of talk about, is he said that there's a lot of people that were modeling Funnel Hacking Live, where it was almost their event was almost very similar to Funnel Hacking Live. And Russell, he wants to be the pioneer of leading the charge of the next opportunity, the next thing. So I think that was part of the reason. It was like, hey, let's stop at 10, nice easy number, we don't have to commit for another 10 years. But he also mentioned this ClickFunnels Connect event and tying it to the story of a conversation he had with Dave Woodward, where it's like kind of this
Yeah.
smaller type gatherings where I think he called it like a I can't remember what he
Yeah.
called it.
It
Kind of like
was interesting.
fireside chats,
Yeah.
type thing where it's like, hey, smaller groups and stuff like that. So I think Clickfunnels Connect events are going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Highly recommend applying as a host. And the nice thing with ClickFunnels too is they have the resources. They were like, yeah, if you want to show a funnel hacking live presentation from like
Presentation
years back,
and have
like
a watch party.
and then you just kind of learn and you talk about it, mastermind. I think
Yeah.
they have the resources. They did mention, I'm not sure if this is to everyone, but they were like, hey, we'll send swag. So if you're the lucky enough person to get the swag, like there's swag at the event. But I don't think the uplift, so to speak, or the work to get, or maybe to like maintain and run a ClickFunnels event is that bad. I think it's more of like, hey, let's try and get like 5 people together and we just kind of chat, and it's very
Hmm.
like kind of up to you. It's like if you want to go to a restaurant, have a nice dinner together and talk about ClickFunnels marketing and stuff, like that's one way to do it. If you want to
Hmm.
have it where it's like, bigger, we get like a rent out maybe a small conference room, do a nice presentation, like that's also another thing. So that's what I like
Hmm.
about it. It's kind of up to your own creativity and up to your own interpretation of what is your ClickFunnels Connect event.
Yeah. It's interesting because he compared it to when he used to watch The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. Remember?
Yeah.
And during The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, there would be these watch parties that were going on all over the country. And there was times when the host would just pop up. I think that would be really cool. But it's a unique path going forward for a SaaS company because that's what ClickFunnels is. It's a SaaS company. It's software as a service. I think we talk about it almost as if it is the good word or, or a movement, right? But it's a SaaS company. It's a SaaS company that sells software that has a recurring monthly fee, and entrepreneurs all over the world are using it to grow their business. I I think I don't know, just my 2 words. Well, I'll say 2 words, but maybe my thoughts about how this could potentially play out because I love how Russell can set a vision, but Russell loves not just setting that vision, but kind of seeing it into fruition. He did it with Funnel Hacking Live, and like he talks about, once he does it, then people follow along, and it kind of becomes a model to follow. Um, I think Brandon and I were talking about how this gets back to sort of the grassroots, sort of kitchen table, kitchen table. I'll invite 2 people, come over, and I think that's going to be important, especially in this world that we see ourselves moving into, with the world of so much AI and so much. It's social, but it's so yeah, I think it's distance, and we need that connection. That's what I believe, and I can see this really being a model going forward, and am excited that I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm excited to be a part of it and potentially hold the San Antonio Connect event along with. I've got another ambassador that we're going to kind of partner up together, who's right here in San Antonio too. Tim, Tim, yeah, and hopefully we'll get the host spot, and I think it's just nothing more than you know I think I can run the event, but just having the backing of or just the with the name recognition of ClickFunnels behind you, I think that would be a powerful powerful marketing tool. Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. Any other words about the Connect events?
Yeah. So that was kind of why they're starting to do ClickFunnels Connect Event. The presentations were awesome.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how much you want to go deep into it, but kind of high level. There was one where they featured the survey workflow app inside ClickFunnels. So for all those that like to do surveys or create survey funnels, they did a nice presentation. So that was Ben Moot and Jake Leslie who
Jake Leslie,
who
Turner
who
Leslie's
demoed that.
brother.
Yeah, which I didn't know that. He mentioned his brother, Turner, was taking pictures, and I was like, oh, it didn't connect that they were they were related or brothers. So one thing to note for that, I really liked how they explained the strategy of it, and it ties back to the early days of ClickFunnels. So for
Hmm,
those where you have multiple ideal customers, ideal avatars that you're trying to target.
hmm.
So for ClickFunnels back in the day, even now, but back in the day, they had a survey
Right there on the
funnel that you
homepage.
would go through.
I
Yeah, and then
remember.
depending on your answer, you get kicked to a customized landing page. So they talked about they were trying to get local service businesses, people in network marketing, people in e-commerce, and then they would take all these ideal customer avatars, they put them in a survey, and then they give them a customized landing page of, hey, this is how ClickFunnels can help your business. So just using that strategy for your own business, where it's like if you're targeting multiple ideal customers, like maybe local service businesses, real estate agents, financial advisors, tax and CPA firms, like you could use a survey funnel to segment those people coming in and then provide customized landing pages about how your offer or your services can help their business. So that was something that I really liked about not only the demo part but also the strategy behind it.
Right, right, right. I love that part when he really tied it back into adding the survey workflow into your course or membership area. And I saw, yeah, I not only did I listen to it, but I got a couple of good nuggets out of this presentation because I'll tell you, you're just talking about the presentations. That was Ben Moot and Leslie's presentation. That was great. And then I got something out of Bridger Pennington's, and then McCall Jones was, man, no wonder why she keeps getting the stage because she is
Yeah, I know.
freaking good,
She
right?
commands the stage. She brings the energy with her high kicking and everything. It's like, man, like her energy is like contagious, where it just naturally just draws you in. So
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
an awesome
Yeah.
presentation.
Yeah, but what I saw Ben Moot do with that survey funnel about how he he routed them back up, and there's an actual a scoring system that you can use to determine. I think he said, okay, if they score below this, then send them back up to the beginning to come through. And I think that can be useful for automating a course completion, and then also automating sending your students a certificate or some type of award, and that's what really caught me in that presentation. But yeah, the survey element, the newest survey element, is leaps and bounds ahead of the survey element that was in the classic ClickFunnels. I know you're not. See, I was using the survey element inside of classic. I don't think you've probably ever touched classic.
I think I opened it like once or twice, and then they said, "Oh, here's ClickFunnels 2.0," and I'm like, "Yep, that's where I'm going."
Yeah, it's hard to believe that some people are still stuck on classic and don't
Mhm.
want to move. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, once you get inside classic and you see the editor and how much smoother it is, you just, yeah. Yeah. So what about the next presentation? Bridger Pennington. He taught I didn't the guy's from Draper, Utah. I didn't know that. And come to think of Draper, we must have just missed you because Brandon and I were both in Draper the week before.
Oh, crazy. Yeah, I should have paid more attention to social media. I think I took a break. I create all these videos, posted, and I think it was during kind of like my burnout phase where it's like, let me just take a break. But yeah, if I told Brandon this, I'm actually moving to North Carolina in 2 months. But if you're in the area in the next 2 months, yeah, we should definitely get together.
Wow, big move, big move.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he was talking about how it was funny because he said, I graduated high school and then I found out that my dad uh, had over $250,000 in a fund. I was like, okay, nice. But I guess he did also tell the story about how his dad wouldn't give him any business because he wanted him to, I think his words were, if I give you the business, then it will deprive you of the experience of hearing no.
Yeah.
which is kind of true because I think, if you probably won't appreciate as much unless you really go through that those objections to get to the point where you find some success. you know um Going through those negative and going through the trying times, the negative feedback, that's part of your growth, and it's an important step that his father did not want him to miss. Um, did you see what he did with the Google Knowledge Panel? Did you see that, Brandon?
I did, and I've been trying to figure out the knowledge panel for quite some time. I know Dennis Yu talks about the knowledge panel extensively when it comes to personal branding, SEO, and it's definitely needed. Like all three of us should have our own knowledge panel.
Have you Googled yourself and seen yours? After he said that, I Googled.
I don't.
Well,
I don't
Googled.
I didn't Google myself, but I Googled the mental marketer to see if I could claim my knowledge panel like he says I could claim it. Did you see how he made it? He said all you have to do is click this to claim your knowledge panel. Did
Yeah,
you?
I've been trying to claim mine, and the 3 dots hasn't appeared yet. So it's either
It hasn't appeared for me either.
content to be more relevant to get my name popped up, but yeah, that was a really cool hack. Really cool tactic. Get your name out there, claim the knowledge panel, and at that point too, it's like just start feeding your content so Google knows and feed the algorithm.
What do you have to say, Brandon?
I need to work on it so I can get my own knowledge panel. That way, I get a little bit more authority in the space.
Yeah, I didn't have a knowledge panel, but I did dominate the first results of the mental marketer. Though it hadn't always been that way. So I would say that's probably come from a result of 5 years of consistent content, right? And keeping it on brand with the mental marketer. I did notice it said that this page has been indexed since 2020. So
Wow.
yeah, it says that Google first indexed the page in 2020. So I'm like, okay, consistency, man, consistency, and just that's how you break through and get those that information. And I'm pretty sure Bridger has probably really got a lot of content out there. After watching that training, I did do a little bit of research, and it said that Google will automatically give you a knowledge panel. Has anyone else heard that?
I haven't heard that before.
You got to be very influential, I guess, to get your own knowledge panel from Google. Like, you have to have a lot of content linked and related back to you, one of your socials, your website, blogs, etc., to get it.
Yeah, okay. So, okay, that's nice to add that little extra context outside of what he taught there, because I haven't been able to find those three dots either.
Yeah, I just Google myself here with the middle initial. That way, I popped up. I showed up under images for my professional Facebook page. I got both my Facebook pages up. LinkedIn, and that's about it. But I don't see anything related to a knowledge panel to
There were
claim.
the three dots. There were the three dots, and I kept clicking on the three dots, but nothing said claim. So I'm wondering, you are the Google My Business page expert, Brandon. And I was wondering, does it require you to claim a Google, Google business profile?
No, it doesn't. I mean, you have to have a Google account, and then you have to, again, just be relevant on Google with articles and socials and things like that, talking about you. So if you have external articles from like a Forbes or Entrepreneur or Medium or anything like that, that is like talking to you, linked pictures, things like that, that Google kind of compiles together that shows, hey, this is this person, this is the stuff people are talking about regarding this person, then you can kind of claim your knowledge panel and then put it all your personal stats. But again, I'm not special enough to get that knowledge panel just yet. I'll get there though.
Nice, nice, nice. That was one of my biggest takeaways from that presentation. And then, what about the last presentation, McCall Jones? What was your biggest takeaway there, Austin?
Yeah, for me, so she shared her framework, and in part of her framework is telling the basically presenting your offer as like the one missing piece. And she kind of dives into this where it's like presenting just like one thing. So you could say, oh, I have this one system, but inside the system there's different
Different
components to
moving
it,
parts.
which I thought was really interesting. And with like webinars and stuff, it's like, oh, here's the three secrets, 1, 2, 3, which I still feel like that's valuable. But how she explained it, where it's like just tell the people that are watching the webinar, it's like, this is the one thing, and it's the one system, but there's multiple different pieces to it. So I felt like that was kind of my biggest takeaway. Like, present your offer, whatever it is, as one piece or one system, even though there's multiple different things surrounding it.
Uh, it's just one thing you're missing. It was, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I thought she was presenting about pretty much about a webinar and how to tell your origin story too. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I love her. What she has. Did you catch that one, Brandon?
Nope, I did not get all of McCall's presentation, unfortunately. Um, she was just kind of on in the background. I was kind of busy. I'll have to go
Oh,
rewatch it.
all right. Yes. And some people may think that they must choose between AI and a personal brand. I don't, but you don't have to choose between AI and a personal brand. You can have both. You can build a personal brand and use AI to enhance your personal brand. Or is anyone afraid of AI?
I'm not. I mean, I'm actively pushing it. In fact, Google just had an event today talking about their new AI run ads, and how AI is going to assist media buyers in, one, creating ads, and two, helping the smaller business owners navigate their complicated ad system, which I think is great. Um, and even making campaigns through Google with AI is going to be easier, especially if it's like video assets or any other type of picture assets that you need to use to enhance your ads. Like if you're selling clothing, their whole augmented reality there, if you upload a piece of image of the clothing, they'll put it on an AI avatar in an image, and then you'll be able to animate that image for another version of the ad, which I thought was absolutely crazy and insane. So if you're not embracing it, you're going to be falling way, way behind.
Mhm. You think that actually moves the needle? I don't know.
It's kind of hard to say, really. I mean, we're getting so close right now to the line, so to speak. It's pretty blurred on what's real and what's not.
Mhm,
It all started with the celebrity deep fakes. What's that, 5, 7 years ago or whatever. One, they've gotten better now, but
mhm.
two, what is the believability now of anything that you see online? Your parents growing up says, "Don't believe everything you see on the internet," and now they're the ones believing everything they see on the internet, and we're soon going to be right there behind them, and not really being able to tell the difference. So, I mean, I think it's going to speed things up a lot, at least getting out into the marketplace. I don't think it's going to replace true marketers because they still have to know and understand the fundamentals and the foundation of marketing. So I'm not fearful there. What I am fearful of is just how fast everything is changing and pivoting and not being able to keep up with it.
Yeah, yeah. If you blink, I think I saw wait, who was it? Someone told me that Chat GPT now has a shopping assistant. I think something along the lines. I haven't had a chance to look into it, but they were asking how did we think this was going to affect affiliate marketing. And then I think I saw something with someone attended an uh, Amazon and Chat GPT experience where you're going to be able to try on clothes. But I don't know. I think about my own buying purchases now. You know, I think about what my own buying process is. And it's like maybe I'll see something and I'll say, huh, you know what? Okay, just for example, I saw Brandon with the little wireless mic, right? The wireless mic. Then so I'm basically just see it on someone else that I know, right? And it's sort of a personal thing, not because I saw an ad, not because well, maybe that did have a little impact on it. Maybe that little ad was sort of you know, little tiny raindrops, kind of just tap tap. Here's again, tap. Here's again. Here's again. Here's again. But I don't know if any AI influences my buying decisions. What about you, Austin?
Yeah, I don't know. So definitely agree with Brandon what he said. If you're not embracing it right now, you're going to be left in the dust. But yeah, in terms of buying decisions, it's kind of interesting because a lot of these big businesses, like for example, Amazon, they have algorithms where they give you suggested products based off of other people's buying decisions. Basically, they have the data, they make some sort of like educated guess of like, oh, you'd probably be interested in this. Like I'd imagine that these companies are using AI. But yeah, it is kind of interesting how almost this line of reality versus AI is starting to, like, the gap is being closed.
Very much so, and the algorithms out there is absolutely crazy and insane, almost to the point to where I went out and this is not a pitch or a plug or an affiliate or anything like that. But I mean, I saw the ads enough on YouTube with these creators reading them, but Incogni, I went out and bought that and just had all my digital stuff scrubbed from the internet and got taken off a whole bunch of lists. I try to reduce all these freaking spam, scam, Medicare type calls, but I'll be honest, it hasn't worked yet. They've been reduced a little bit, but I'm still getting like 20 calls a day. Somebody trying to either sell me final expense insurance that I know I didn't sign up for, or Medicare, and I'm nowhere even near the age. Like, it's got to the point where I just take the calls and cuss them out just to make myself feel better for the day. That's it. So
You're knocking on Medicare's door.
I'm not. I have at least 15 more years to go.
Want to throw a shout out there to Shanna. What's up, Shanna? Thanks for watching. I saw your comment inside of the private Facebook group. For some reason, the comments don't show up here in the here inside of Restream when we're going live inside the Facebook group. But thanks for tuning in today. We've had a great discussion. Have we touched everything now? Yeah, we've touched, we've talked about the Connect event. We've talked a little bit about AI, and can't get out of here until we talk a little bit more about a little bit of ambassador talk. A little bit of ambassador talk, and then also before we leave, we want to know how can everybody get in touch with you? What do you have exciting that's coming up here in the near future? I think I saw some posts. I think I saw an AI with some type of show that you're running right now, Austin.
Yeah. So, a lot of questions, but yeah, if you want to connect with me, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Austin Dorman. I think on Instagram is _Austin_Dorman. And then you can also find me on my YouTube channel as well. That's where I do a lot of ClickFunnels tutorial videos, try and keep them short and sweet so that you could get what you need, and then you could get over the hump or the problem that you were trying to solve quickly. But yeah, like you mentioned, I am launching a podcast. So it's going to be something new and exciting. Used AI to create the music. So if you watch the video on my page, shout out to AI for creating that. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. So it was kind of an idea I had a few months ago of like, I should create a podcast. And it's kind of funny because it seems like everyone's starting to, create podcasts and whatnot. But kind of how I summarize it is the podcast is for me to document and share my story. So it's a way for me to share what I'm learning, going to all these conferences, all these events, interacting with people that I meet. So like you guys. And then also too, I want it to be a way where I can interview experts as well. So that people could hear their stories and what they're good at. So I know we have you, Mark, scheduled coming soon, which I'm super excited. And
Yes.
Brandon, we gotta get you on the show, get you interviewed, talk about Google My Business and stuff. But yeah, it's basically a way for kind of give back to the people that have been following my story, my journey, helping them in their own personal journey as well, and also to just connect with other entrepreneurs as well. So I'm really excited. It's gonna be awesome.
Nice. Yeah. I think podcasts are just a way to show, a human side. And I think people care and it's especially with a lot of AI when it's going to be so tough to tell, the line between reality and AI is going to be so blurred. I think the importance of actually coming on and showing your face that you are a real authentic human is going to become even more important as we move into this uncharted territory of where AI is going to take us. I think it has some people actually afraid about what the future could hold. I don't tend to get afraid, but hey, whatever comes, I'm pretty sure that we'll be able to manage it somehow. We'll get through it. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is
Brett?
kind of going back to, oh, sorry to jump in, but this is
Oh, no,
kind of
no.
going back to, ClickFunnel Connect events. We crave human interaction, that authenticity, the face to face, talking to someone, and kind of how I've seen it, or kind of what I'm thinking is like, yes, AI is going to be there, but like maybe this is kind of like still formulated, but maybe like that human interaction, that human authenticity side is like, could be your competitive edge, where it's like you see all this AI generated stuff, but it's like, oh wow, it's so nice to see a genuinely nice human being talk about something where it's not AI generated. It's real, raw, authentic. And so that's kind of something I've been thinking about lately, is like, how can I use my story, my personality, my quirks, to my advantage in this whole AI generated space.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Brandon?
I mean, I think we've all said it all, and just kind of reiterate the deal when it comes to AI. If you're not first with it, you're definitely going to be last, and even further behind than anybody ever before, just because how fast it's moving. Um, Pick a tool that you like and are comfortable with using, and just stick with it. That way, you don't get too bogged down in the minutia with it, because there's just so many of them out there. I'm a GPT user. And that's the one that I stick with the most, just because my GPT is so seasoned with all the prompts that I put into it that I really don't have to tell it exactly who it is and what it is. It just does it for me now, which is great. So if you just continue to use the one, and again, I'm old school with the GPT, it will do what you want it to do. But don't be afraid of it. Just use it.
Old school with the GPT, huh?
Yeah, it's like ChatGPT is old school. It is old school now, and it's only been out for what, 2 years now. It feels like it's been around forever. Like you've always been using it, just because of how much it's being used. You think it's been out for forever, but it's so much more advanced. And I can't wait for 5.0 to come out. I think it's coming out in June. I think it's going to be released then.
Oh, wow. That's less than a month away.
I think. Don't quote me on it, but I think that's what's going to be released.
Cool, cool. It's been awesome having you here for our episode. It's Memorial Day weekend. You got some big plans this weekend, Brandon?
Sleep, and I know that's not the good answer to do, especially after watching Steve Harvey come across my reels. Is like, you can't sleep 8 hours a day. That's 1/3 of your life, right? It's in Proverbs. Can't sleep. It's like, Steve, I gotta sleep, man. I gotta sleep. No, probably just hang out with the kiddos. Maybe take a road trip somewhere in Ohio, and yeah, just nose to the grindstone and get the marketing done. Still gonna post. Still haven't forgot. I think I posted something today. I'm counting
Did
this
you
as my
miss?
daily. No, I didn't miss. I got stuff out. Hey, it's either text or maybe I did a video. I'm counting this as my deal for today. Tomorrow I got something queued up. So posting something at least once a day on one platform. And
Oh yeah.
360
We're
content.
we're about 3 weeks in to a 365-day content challenge, Austin.
Oh, nice. I need to
We're
up my content game. Not as consistent as you guys.
Yeah, we're about 3 weeks in, and I'm watching Brandon like a hawk.
Yep. I got something up yesterday. It was late. I was tired, but I had a nugget stashed away that I can put up. So I'll get back
I'll,
to the Google content tomorrow.
you know what I'll do? Because the AI makes these videos, I'm gonna send you a couple that you could
Okay.
just Like the one that I sent you. I saw you posted it too.
I did. I needed some. That was one of my nuggets, and I had another one sent to me from the other day too that I had stashed away. So from
I'll
another
send
podcast.
I'll send you a couple that you can keep in your back pocket.
Okay, there you go.
Because that's at like it's like 11 o'clock. You're like, uh-oh. Nice. Any big weekend? Any big plans for the weekend, Austin?
Yeah, just relax, spend time with my wife. We're going some go up in the mountains, do some hiking. But yeah, just
Nice.
spend the weekend outdoors. So it's gonna be nice. Hopefully we get good weather. It's been raining recently, which is kind of atypical in Utah, but it should be a good weekend.
Nice, nice. Oh, so you're in Salt Lake City.
Yeah. So just 30 minutes south of Salt Lake City, but there's mountains all around. Just pick a direction, go about 30 to 45 minutes, and you're already there.
Yeah, yeah. We were there in Lehigh. I think
Oh,
we were
cool.
yeah, we were in Lehigh, but our Airbnb was in Draper, right?
Hmm.
It was in Draper. Yeah, man, beautiful scenery there. Just the
Yeah.
mountains, and it was nice, warm weather, and you could see the snow-capped mountains. There was still a little bit of snow on top, but we're pretty warm. It's beautiful there in Utah. Need to, and you're moving away cross country.
Yeah. So in beginning of August, we're moving to Chapel Hill, North Carolina. So which there's still mountains, just different types of mountains.
Those are
But
hills.
yeah, we're gonna definitely miss Utah being here. Super pretty if you're an outdoor person. There's a lot of things to do.
Nice. Can we look forward to seeing you put together a Connect event? Did you are
Yeah,
you signed up for that, or you don't?
I'm
You're not the planning type, and you because maybe there's a little planning involved, and
yeah. So I'm currently in the process of applying it to be a host. Hopefully we could throw one or two ClickFunnels Connect events here in Utah really quick before I move out to North Carolina, and then at that point, that's where I'm gonna start doing ClickFunnels Connect events for the next little while. But yeah, plan is to at least do one in June, hopefully do another one in July, and then at that point we'll transition over to North Carolina.
there you have it. ClickFunnels Connect events are the future of SaaS marketing. Awesome. Great having you on, Austin. As always, Brandon, great seeing you again, and even though you're tired and grumpy
Um,
as always.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm more tired and more grumpier this week. I apologize. Next week I'll be better. I promise. I'll be well rested.
Nice, nice. But with that, we will sign off. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and we'll see you next week on another episode of Pitch Practice,
The
the
show.
show.
Awesome. Hey, thanks.
Thanks so much, everyone. All right, now I need to just close.